So the film begins in 1956. We are shown a frightened priest who came to the church in a hurry, and he also had a child with him who had a birthmark on his body. This birthmark was not a common birthmark, but this birthmark was a devilish sign, which meant that this child may become a devil when he grows up, and he can also cause any kind of destruction. That is why the priest, scared and asking for forgiveness from God as he tries to kill this child, then the police arrive and stop him from doing so. However, the priest also says to the police, "Do not stop me. You don't know what the result of this will be." But the police shoot the priest, fearing that the priest might kill the child right there, and this child is finally saved. After this, 30 years pass in the film and we are shown the main character of the movie, Marek. This time, Marek was in the guise of a priest, but in reality he was an undercover agent. He had to investigate the case of disappearance of 7 girls. That too by going to a church. The police knew that those women were last seen going inside this church, but they were missing since then. Now, since the church was their place of worship, they did not want to create any scandal by sending the police there. That is why they sent Marek inside as an undercover agent. On going inside, Marek meets the priest Andre, who shows him around the whole church. Priest Andre also shows Marek his room and warns him, "Don't come out of your room even by mistake at midnight. Otherwise, you yourself will be responsible for the consequences." Marek goes inside and he starts finding this place very strange, because there was no electricity here. There were no mobile signals either, and this place was completely cut off from the outside world. Ignoring all his thoughts, Marek now decides to freshen up, and as soon as he takes off his shirt, a big twist is revealed to us that Marek is actually the same child who was saved by the police from the priest in the beginning of the movie, on whose body that devilish mark is imprinted. But he still does not know his reality. After this, Marek takes out some files, camera and gun from his secret suitcase. These files contained all the biodata of those 7 girls who were not found since coming to this church. Marek was here on a very big mission. He did not only have to find these girls, he also had to find out the truth about what these people do here. After some time, Marek is called for dinner, and he sees that they were served a very strange kind of food. This food smelled bad. There was a strange sticky liquid in it. It seemed that it was some kind of meat, but he had never eaten such meat before today. It was a rubber-like meat, and while eating it he starts vomiting. But he eats this food while controlling his expressions to show himself as normal and like everyone else. After this, Marek goes on his mission. He starts visiting the whole church, and he passes through a corridor where he sees a girl on the other side. This girl looked mad. There was a priest with her. After some time, Marek along with all the new priests are called here, and it is told that these people do exorcism of such people in this church who are possessed by demons. According to these priests, the mad girl that Marek had seen earlier, she was in the possession of a demon. They had to do exorcism now to cure her. Priest Andre takes Marek to a room where he was going to do exorcism of a girl. The girl was tied to a bed and a lot of candles were also lit here. This girl starts doing strange things as they go there. Her voice changes, it becomes terrifying. Her bed starts shaking and a strange kind of silence spreads all around. A priest was also recording all these things. When Marek asks him, "Why are you recording these things?" he says that we have to inform our big church what we do here. Finally, the exorcism starts. A priest starts reading some incantations here and crucifix in his hand catches fire all of a sudden. But he does not change his expression, but he continues his exorcism, controlling himself. That girl starts writhing even more, and finally, after writhing in pain, she falls down. It is known that the exorcism has ended and the demon that once possessed her had finally left. Whatever Marek had seen at this time disturbed him a lot. He was not aware of such a thing before. Now strange things started happening to him inside this church. When he goes to his room and touches his mirror cracks on touching it, and he hears horrifying sounds from behind the mirror, and he starts feeling a strange connection with this church. Anyway, Marek ignores all these thoughts from his mind and reminds himself that he had come here on a mission. But he was not able to work on his mission because the routine of all the people in this church is very mysterious. The next day, again the same stinking food is served to everyone including Marek. Marek was somehow eating it. But a new priest who had come today here was unable to eat it. He started crying before he leaves the food and goes away. The priest standing behind whispers something in his ear, after which that boy eats the food again silently after eating. When Marek went to his room, he actually vomited. He was also having severe pain in his tooth. When he tried to check his tooth by putting his hand in his mouth, his tooth ended up in his hand, and when he took the tooth out and looked at it, a bug suddenly came out of his tooth and flew away. This thing scared Marek badly. But now he was 100% sure that there was something wrong with their food here. Anyway, night falls and Marek goes on his mission. That priest goes to Andrei's room where he finds a hidden compartment. There was nothing in this hidden compartment that could be called religious or that could be used in worship. There was a lot of alcohol here. There were DVDs of strange videos and also videos of the exorcisms that these people used to record. On seeing these videos, Marek comes to know that these videos are not original, but they are just stage performances. These are fake fabricated videos that have been made to show and fool people. Here, the secret of these people is revealed, that these people are not actually priests. Now Marek goes to the same room where the exorcism was performed. He realizes that the crucifix which caught fire was actually a lighter, and that day the fire was caused by pressing a hidden button. A vibrator was also installed under the bed which was shaking. The strange sounds coming in the room were a tape recording. And as far as the girl is concerned, she was not pretending but a victim of these people who was given strange drugs, and because of that drug she was doing such things, and Marek also gets the injection of the same drug from under the bed. Well, now the next morning comes. These people gather in the church as per their routine. All of them had to pray here. Today it was Marek's turn. Marek begins the prayer in English, so all of them ask him to say it in Latin. Then something else is read here instead of prayers, sending him aside. They are served the same stinking meat to eat again which he had vomited the first time as he ate. Today he had completely understood that this church is not an ordinary church. This is a hoax, and he feels that his life can also be in danger here. That is why he burns all those files here, so that it can be known that he had come here to investigate something. That he prepares to run away from here, taking his gun and camera. He notices that some priests are digging a grave here before he leaves. This was the grave of the same girl on whom they had performed a false exorcism just the day before. This sight stops Marek from going out, and now he decides that he will definitely uncover the truth behind all these things. He now goes to the same area where those mad people were kept. A priest informs him that everyone knows here that Marek has come here to investigate something. This priest tells him that I have come to know that you will try to escape from here now. But running away from here is not that easy, because I too had deceived by their words just as you have been. But then I tried a lot to run away from here but could not run away till today. Now when Marek sees that this man sympathizes with him and knows so much about him, Marek himself starts telling him all his truth. He says that I am the Polish police agent, and I came here because 7 girls had disappeared from here. And one of them was the girl whose exorcism you people did in front of me and killed her. Priest also tells Marek the truth here, that all these exorcisms are fake and are done for money. These exorcisms are performed for a TV show, from where this place gets a lot of funding. Marek feels very sad on hearing this. He tells him here that if you help me in solving this case, then I will take you out from here as well. This man does not say anything here, and Marek continues his investigation again. As soon as it is night, he goes to the basement here. This place was enough to scare him because many skeletons of humans were kept in this place. There were also human teeth lying there, likely from people who must have been killed by the member of this church, and there was also an eyeball lying here which was still alive and moving. Scared by this, Marek drops it on the side, and it bursts and blood spills everywhere. Seeing such a creepy and strange sight, Marek also starts vomiting, and we see a lot of bugs and flies in his vomit. Now Marek goes out of here to the same graveyard where they had buried that girl. He opens that grave, but he does not find anyone there. He was surprised that these people had buried that girl under the ground in front of his eyes. And now where had she gone? Before he could do anything else, a man comes from behind and covers his face and makes him unconscious. When he regains consciousness, he sees that he was tied to a bed, And there was the man in front of him who had brought him unconscious to tea this time. Priest Andre appears before him who had brought food for him. The food was of the same type but was inside 4 different bowls. He forcefully asks Marek to eat it, but he refuses and asks what all this is. These people do not tell him anything about this food but force him to eat it. But Marek refuses to eat this food and instead throws it away as so. Father Andre angrily knocks him unconscious here once again. He was tied to the bed again when he regained consciousness. He saw that the man in front of him who was keeping an eye on him was also sleeping. So he freed himself, taking advantage of the situation. He took out the gun hidden in his leg and started fighting with the man who was keeping an eye on him. They had solid fight and Marek finally won and managed to kill him by shooting him. After which he went inside the kitchen here to know what is the food that was being fed to him. And he was shocked to see the condition of the kitchen because the reality was much more horrifying than what he was thinking. He was actually being fed the flesh of girls. The girls who were killed here in the name of exorcism. Meanwhile, the same priest who was very nice to Marek earlier also comes here again. He tells him the truth that you were eating the flesh of those 7 women here who have done the worst sins in their life, that we are also being fed the same flesh along with you. Hearing this, Marek gets scared, and now he says taking this man at gunpoint that take me inside the library of this church. This man had to agree to Marek, and now he shows Marek a book in which it was written about this church. And from here Marek comes to know the biggest truth, that this church was not a church at all. These people were part of some cult and followed this book which was written on demons. It was written in it that after every 800 years, a demonic child is born who has a special kind of mark on his body like the mark Marek also had on his body. If that child is fed the flesh of 7 women who have committed terrible sins, and then also make him drink the blood of an innocent girl, then that child eventually turns into a demon. A new turn of his evil life begins from here. After reading all this, Marek and this man decide that they will run away from here immediately. Then this man tells Marek that I know about a secret underground tunnel here from where I also tried to escape but I was caught, but you are courageous. That I think that with you I will get out of here through that tunnel. Marek was not able to believe his words because after all he was also a part of this chapel. Then this man shows his waist to Marek. There were scars of being flogged. He says that he was flogged as a punishment for trying to escape. After seeing all this, Marek started believing his truth and decided to go with him. Marek reaches that secret tunnel while chasing him. This tunnel was very long where they were walking with lamps, and at the end of the tunnel they reach a strange place. There was no way to get out from here, but a new demonic setting was arranged here. And this man was actually there to trap Marek. His mission was to bring Marek here by showing sympathy. Before Marek could think of anything or leave from here, he is made unconscious. We see all the people in red-colored gowns here. When Marek regains consciousness, he sees that he was hung from a tree and his hands were tied tightly. Now a cloth was tied on his mouth as well. Priest Andre and everyone now tell Marek the truth which he had not even thought. Marek's arrival for the investigation of a case was the part of their plan. Whatever happened, whatever Marek saw, he saw the same what these people wanted. He says that we waited for centuries for a child who has this mark on his body and who is born during the lunar eclipse. Because such a child is not a human being but a born devil. Andre says that there is a well under the stone on which he is kept at this time, and that well is actually the door to hell which they have been protecting for years. He tells that we are not priests and neither do we believe in God. Our master is the devil, and we are his slaves, and Marek has been specially chosen for them. Now they start their ritual. A poor innocent girl is brought in front of Marek, and her throat is slit, and cups are filled with her blood. All these people take a sip from these cups one by one. After which this blood is forcefully poured into the mouth of Marek, and they keep his mouth up until he swallows it. Now the process of Marek becoming a demon had started. He had already been fed the flesh of 7 sinful girls. Now he should have turned into a terrible monster after drinking the blood of an innocent girl. All these people were waiting for the time when he would turn into a demon. They were also reading some spells so that the evil powers could quickly enter Marek. Eventually their spells also got over, and when these people looked back, nothing had changed there. Marek was the same as before, and he starts laughing like a madman after seeing them, and he says, "What old conservations do you follow, friend? Has anyone become a devil like this? All these people also started getting panicky. The weight of centuries, the sacrifice of so many people, and their hard work was all going to waste. There was another big issue. Marek was a key agent. He had not reported for many weeks, and now they had heard that the police had started investigating Marek. The police would come here any moment, and when they would start looking for evidence, the whole truth of their church would be revealed, and who knows what would happen to Marek. That is why, while reading this ritual book, they decided that they would kill Marek, and then they throw him in the door of hell, which has been closed for centuries. A man had brought Marek. Deceptively, he got very angry at Andre when this ritual failed, because now he had started believing Marek that no one becomes a devil like this, and they had ruined their whole life by trusting this. Andre, in this anger, he kills him by putting a pillow on his face and tells everyone a lie that Andre, their leader, has died due to excessive drinking. On the other hand, the members of cult were burning the dead bodies of those people whom they had murdered in the name of sacrificing to the devil. Then we again see Andre, whose eyes were not closed by anyone when he died. Everyone was watching the spectacle of his death, and suddenly a crucifix turns upside down in front of his eyes, after which a fly sits on his body and flies towards the well, which they were calling the door of hell, where they had thrown Marek. That fly flies into Marek's body. His dead body gets a jolt, and suddenly his eyes open. Now his body had also started twisting in a strange way. Many parts of his body had started changing. Big veins had appeared on his face, and the whole face had turned blue. And now no one was noticing all this. Now the scene shifts to Andre's funeral, which the guy was doing. Suddenly his body hangs in the air. His head bursts and flies come out of it, and his entire body turns into a swarm of flies and disappears within the moment, leaving him dead. And then the real demon Marek enters here, who had now become a complete demon. Their ritual was not wrong. They just could not wait. Seeing Marek, all the people who try to run away from here out of fear, he hangs them upside down like an inverted crucifix, after which we are shown the outside environment, where now dark clouds had covered the sky, and it was clear that now the world cannot be stopped from the destruction of this devil. And the movie ends here, just showing this.